That isn't the only ex she's ever kept in touch with, by the way, just for the record. Yeah, just so y'all know, that's not the only ex. Ken was not the only ex, but
It's not looking good for Gypsy Rose, and here's why. You see, there's been allegations of lying and deceit, manipulation, changing up her story multiple times, divorcing her husband for monetary gain. There's accusations of infidelity while being in a committed marriage. There's also claims that Gypsy Rose has been bullying other people with Munchausen syndrome. You see, there's a woman named Kate who has this disorder. She even had a leg amputated, and she uses her platform to spread awareness in helping others with similar conditions.
A survivor of what?
I am a survivor of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, also known as factitious disorder and medical abuse.
She claims that Gypsy Rose targeted her platform in a form of bullying, and even adding that Gypsy's family members played a part in this attack. Gypsy would apparently creep into Kate's live streams and harass her, with claims of mass reporting and demanding Kate to stop telling her story altogether.
I get she's a victim. I get that she has survived horrible things, but the innocence is just not all there, and attacking other survivors for us feeling like we have no voice is not okay.
These are some pretty wild accusations if that's what's really happening. Kate also says that Gypsy's story has changed multiple times, and that her narrative has seemed to adapted to Kate's story. In an interview with Chris Jericho, yes, WWE's Chris Jericho, viewers seem to call out what Gypsy says in this interview, and how closely it ties into Kate's own testimony, giving the impression that Gypsy is stealing this testimony word for word, according to Kate and her viewers. However, others have argued that Gypsy's story has been documented back since 2015 when she was arrested. This caused many of Gypsy's viewers to attack Kate and even send unalived threats, according to Kate. I didn't see Kate post any evidence of this, but she seems very determined to tell her side of the story. And for a moment, many were under the assumption that Gypsy's fans bullied Kate off her platform, since her page was completely gone for a while, until she returned with a message. So apparently, Gypsy's fans continued to swarm and harass Kate, and even attack her for losing her leg, something that's beyond her control. Though if you take a glance upon Kate's page, a good chunk of her content is mainly targeted to Gypsy. I'm not accusing her personally of lying or clout chasing, but it's just an observation. I think she's just determined to call out Gypsy's lies. I don't doubt her testimony and her advocacy. In a most recent post, Kate has said that she just wants to make peace with Gypsy, and fears that this is all taking away from her goal of advocating for Munchausen's, even giving Gypsy the benefit of the doubt and supporting her journey now.
Really can't even share entirely my side because I just think I want peace. And that is the whole reason that I am here where I am.
This was a very sudden shift in perspective, and possibly brings to question the accusations that she threw against Gypsy and if they were all entirely factual. This left many of Kate's audience thinking that she's now being manipulated in some way or even paid off.
Have you been threatened legally? Anyway, so
Gypsy filed a restraining order against her former husband Ryan on April 8th, the same day she filed for divorce. She is seeking final spousal support in this whole ordeal. According to Gypsy, she says that Ryan is, quote, at fault in the dissolution of the marriage, and is requesting that Ryan not be issued any kind of support. Quote, because the petitioner is in need and the defendant has an ability to pay and she is not at fault for the dissolution of the marriage, quote.
I didn't trust her, that's why. Well, guys, do y'all realize that she was cheating on me? I mean, I didn't say quit texting Ken.
They were together for around 2 years, so only after 3 months of freedom with Ryan. Ryan supported her while she was in prison. Gypsy claims that Ryan's food hoarding was one of the main reasons for the split. In response to this, Ryan posts a video of himself giving a fridge tour. Yes, he actually did a fridge tour on TikTok, which was interesting.
Just be prepared. Oh my God, the humanity! There's stuff everywhere! Oh God, what am I gonna do? Look, Pixie, in the refrigerator.
I have seen a few pieces of the show, and I think there's a sneak peek of Gypsy and Ryan arguing about what looks like his hoarding. And since episode 1 just came out, many viewers have expressed their feelings, with people saying that Ryan seemed to be a bit too touchy with Gypsy. And considering she just got out of prison, perhaps he was just doing a bit too much for her comfort, which I can kind of see that. Ryan also posted his own video on his platform in a response to their separation, and honestly he did seem a bit upset in the video, with many people offering support and sympathy towards him. But this was just a little bit before episode 1 was released, before people realized Ryan's behaviors with Gypsy as depicted on the show. But aside from that, Ryan seems like a genuinely wholesome person. Funny enough, Gypsy even commented on this video in retaliation, leaving some shady words, but the people weren't having it and she was quickly ratioed by everyone who defended Ryan. According to Ryan, the whole separation and the restraining order seems to come out of the blue. More footage from the show suggests that Ryan thinks Gypsy is still talking to Ken, the former fiance.
And I'm not going to say her name anymore, but the girl, I need to call her something besides her name. I'm gonna call her the Bop. No, I'm just joking. That's a joke.
So this has some people thinking that Gypsy really did just use Ryan because it was the most convenient at the time, but always wanted to be with Ken. The separation caused many people to sympathize with Ryan, while Gypsy's audience began to turn on her more and more.
I'm a loyal friend. Just because I wasn't loyal to my marriage doesn't make me not loyal.
Meanwhile, promoting her cameo in the new season of The Kardashian Show, her book and her show that's premiering this month. Off topic, but why does The Kardashian Show still exist? Who is keeping this show on air? Shame on you, whoever that is. Though in my opinion, Gypsy wasn't socialized normally like most people. She was forced to act like a child for a prolonged period of time and forced to take dozens of medicines and treatments as a kid, undergoing multiple unnecessary surgeries in the process. And from what I remembered, Ryan lost his teaching job during the height of the Gypsy Rose case, but that may have been because he was reaching out to her while she was in prison, and I think it just caused a bit too much of an uproar at the school. And if you actually bared through watching the show, you would know that some of his behaviors can be off-putting, like making jokes about Gypsy's mother and just a bunch of stuff that's just out of nowhere, with viewers saying that Ryan was borderline controlling Gypsy. And even more recently, Gypsy and Ken went on TikTok live together at Ken's new apartment. On this live, the two of them can be seen mocking Ryan and taunting him, making fun of his living habits among other things.
Alright, yes, it's very neatly organized, so I've got some healthy choice. I don't know.
It just seemed pretty childish and immature, especially doing this on live with your rebound guy, Ken. But on a good note, Gypsy does seem happier with Ken, although he stated that he has no plans of marrying her whatsoever, which should be an opportunity for Gypsy to focus on herself and find out who she is, figuring out her life without the dependence of another man. But that's just my observation. Now she makes videos towards people who she thinks are jealous of her relationship, saying her man wouldn't touch you within a 10-foot pole or something like that. You've probably seen the video. I feel like Gypsy is reliving the high school experience that she perhaps never had. She was forced to act like a child for a very long time, keep that in mind. So that brings me back to my point that she simply wasn't socialized normally. Things looked rocky for her and Ryan on the show that's out, and now it seems she's in a better relationship. But if you're super up to date on what's going on between Gypsy and Ken, then you know that things have taken an interesting turn. Or Chad, as she likes to call him. But some things have come into the light about Chad. So Chad has a thing for Chads, that's all I'm gonna say. Gypsy has announced her pregnancy while still finalizing her divorce with Ryan and currently being with Ken. There goes season 2 of the show right there. Boom. At this point, I'm getting way too deep into this story. Who even cares at this point? This feels like a high school drama that I'm covering right now. I've said what I had to say regarding this. If you really care, then go watch the show. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.
I'm doing it. He's eating a brownie. But later.